Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Looking to get an expert knowledge of Macbeth but haven't got hours and hours to spend doing it? Well, look no further. In this series of videos, we aim to give you all the information you need from plot to context to theme and character analysis. So let's not waste any time and immediately begin to explore the plot. For without an understanding of this, you've nothing to ground your analysis in. So what actually does happen in the play? Well, in Act 1, the witches open the play and discuss Macbeth, who is currently in battle. Upon meeting him, the witches predict that Macbeth will be Thane of Cawdor and King of Scotland, and that his friend Banquo will be the father of kings. This awakens Macbeth's ambition. Macbeth sends a letter informing his wife of the prophecies, and she immediately begins plotting to bring it to fruition by manipulating Macbeth into committing regicide. After much contemplation, he eventually accepts. Within Act 2, on his way to murder Duncan, Macbeth sees a vision of a bloody dagger floating before him. When he hears Lady Macbeth ring the bell to signal the completion of her preparations, Macbeth sets out to complete his part in the murderer's plan. Lady Macbeth waits for Macbeth to finish the act of regicide. Macbeth enters, still carrying the bloody daggers. Lady Macbeth chastises him for his weak-mindedness and plants the daggers on the bodyguards herself. One of the king's vanes, Macduff, discovers Duncan's dead body. Macbeth kills the two bodyguards, claiming that he was overcome with a fit of grief and rage when he saw them with the bloody daggers. Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, flee to England and Ireland. Their flight brings them under suspicion of conspiracy against Duncan. Macbeth is thus crowned King of Scotland. Within Act 3, fearing Banquo will father kings, Macbeth orders the murder of Banquo and his son Fleance. Banquo is killed upon the heath, but his son Fleance manages to escape. As Macbeth sits down to a celebratory banquet in his honour, he sees the ghost of Banquo, which sends him into a frenzy. Lady Macbeth tries to account for his behaviour by saying it is a momentary fit. Macbeth decides he must revisit the witches to look into the future once more. Meanwhile, Macbeth's thanes begin to turn against him. Macduff meets Malcolm in England to prepare an army to march on Scotland. Within Act 4, the witches show Macbeth 3 apparitions. The first warns him against Macduff, the second tells him to fear no man of woman born, and the third prophesies that he will fall only when Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane Castle. Macbeth takes this as a prophecy that he is infallible. When he asks the witches if their prophecy about Banquo will come true, they show him a procession of 8 kings, all of whom look like Banquo. Meanwhile, in England, Malcolm and Macduff strategize for their offensive against Macbeth. Back in Scotland, Macbeth has Macduff's wife and children murdered. In the final act of this tragedy, Act 5, suffering from intense guilt, Lady Macbeth begins sleepwalking and unwittingly reveals her guilt, claiming she can see blood on her hands. Just as the English army approaches, Lady Macbeth's cry of death is heard in the castle. Macbeth begins to realise the futility of life. Taking the witch's second prophecies in good faith, Macbeth still believes that he is impregnable to the approaching army. Malcolm has instructed each man in the English army to cut a tree branch from Birnam Wood and hold it up to disguise the army's total numbers. As a result, Macbeth's servant reports he has seen Birnam Wood moving toward the castle. Macduff challenges Macbeth. As they fight, Macduff reveals he was born by caesarean section. Macduff kills Macbeth and decapitates him. At the end of the play, Malcolm is proclaimed the new King of Scotland. And that's our plot. So if you needed that revision, you've got it now. So continue on with your great work. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you very much.